Now let's add some functionality to these elements that we create dynamically. There are several ways that we can do this. Let's start with one of the possible approach. Assume here we want to delete the row if a user clicks on the delete button. So we need to add an event listener to this object. Add event listener takes two parameters. The first one is the name of the event, click, and second one is the callback function that is supposed to be called when this event happens. We can type a function name, or we can use an arrow function, which means that we define the function right here. Each event handler function can get one parameters, which actually refers to the object that caused this event. Okay. By using this parameter, actually we can know which button was clicked, and from that button we can access to its parent or its children. In this case, whenever a delete button is clicked, we want to find its parent, the li element, which contains this text, title, and two buttons. Parent element. This line. eTarget is of type element, so we can have these properties. Okay. Let's assign it to a variable. Now we can delete this row from the list. Remove child R. We find the li item and remove it from the ul item actually. These are created by these fixed code, so that they don't have any event handler. But if we add some elements on the fly, all these three delete buttons have an event listener, and consequently they will work. Whenever I click on this delete button, you see that row is removed from the list. Okay. Let's do the same thing for the complete button. btn comp, add event listener. The event that we want to respond is click, and here the function which is supposed to be called is this one. Here we want to find the parent element like this, and then assume we want to change the style of this span, which is the first children of the parent element. So we can type r children, the first element, its index is 0, and assume we want to change its class name to something else like done. Let me define the class done, and for example text decoration line through. Okay, here, done. Now, if we add some stuff here, whenever I click on this button, we see that the style of that line, that text is changed. We can actually do more stuff like removing the button from the row. So we can say remove the target element from its parent. Now, okay, and we can delete. Second approach is add a general event handler to the container of everything in this list, which is the list itself. And through that list, we find the source of the event and act accordingly. So let's see how it works. Let me delete these event handlers. Okay, and add an event handler to the container of all these spans and buttons. So the event that we want to respond is click, and the callback function is this one. Now let's define a variable var or const btn and type e.target.closest, and here we should type the type of the element that we are interested in. In this case, by this trick, if the element inside this container is of type this one, we can get a reference to that element. So we just need to check if this variable is not null. If it's null, that means the part of the container that was clicked was not a button. Okay, so if it's a button, now we need to detect which button actually. So we say we need to find a way to detect the button. In this case, I am using text content property, and I say if the text content is delete, now I know that the user clicked on the delete button. So we should actually find the parent element of the button and remove it from the list. Okay, let's see. There's an error here. This one match this one, this one match this one, and this one match that, and this is extra. Okay. Now you see even these dummy roles that we added here now respond to the click events. Okay, now let's say if it's not delete, else if btn.text content equals complete, then again find the parent let's assign it to a variable r, and then from the children of this element find the first one and change its class name to done. So we studied two ways. In the first approach, we add an event handler for each element that we create. In the second approach, we add an event handler to the container of the stuff that we dynamically create, and using that container event, we find the source of the event and handle the corresponding task.